Hi, my name is Brianna Figueredo, and I will be doing my behaviorist biography on Dr. A. Charles Catania. Some background information on Dr. Catania. He was born on June 22nd, 1936, which makes him 82 years old today. He was a researcher, a pharmacologist, a professor, and a director, and he earned his Bachelor of Psychology and Masters of Arts both at Columbia University, as well as his doctorate in psychology at Harvard University. And as you can see, there is Dr. Catania in the picture to the right. So just a little bit more information on Dr. Catania. He has authored some of the top 30 most cited articles in the Journal of Experimental Analysis of Behavior. And some of the articles I used actually came from the JEAB. He has also edited and or authored 10 books and authored over 100 research articles or chapters in books. And as you can see, one of his textbooks called Learning, I have the 5 editions of his book pictured at the left, and that is his book with the most editions. And as you can see, he has multiple honors that he has been recognized for, including the Don Hake Basic Applied Award from Division 25 of the ABAI. Next, I'll be talking about Dr. Catania's dates active. From 1961 to 1962, he conducted his postdoctoral research as a fellow at Harvard University. And then from 1962 to 1964, he was the senior pharmacologist in Philadelphia. And after that, he began as an assistant professor at NYU and went on to be a professor and then a chairman in the Department of Psychology. Later on, around 1973 to 2008, he was professor of the Department of Psychology at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and later on he became the program director and a professor as well. Lastly, in 1992, he was a visiting professor at a university in Tokyo. Next, I'm just going to go through some of the articles and books that I used authored by Dr. Catania. First being his textbook, I used the 4th edition of Learning, and that contains multiple topics, including research findings and basic concepts rather than theories. Next, his article, A Quantitative Analysis of the Responding Maintained by Interval Schedules of Reinforcement. That was a research article explaining the findings of experiments on pigeons and using interval schedules of reinforcement with them. Next, the article, The Non-Maintenance of Behavior by Non-Contingent Reinforcement. That one explains the differences of using non-contingent reinforcement versus extinction after positive reinforcement. Some more articles and books that I used include Chapter 27 of another textbook of Dr. Catania's called The ABCs of Applied Behavior Analysis, An Introduction to Behavior and Learning. And in that one, he talks about the role of verbally governed behavior in regards to different societal debates. The next article I used was Antecedents and Consequences of Words, where he really focused on the usage of words as a behavior and its consequences. And lastly, the Behavior Analysis as a Biological Science and Alternate History. That one debates and theorizes how the field of behavior analysis would have been different if its roots and basis came from psychology rather than the biological sciences. So next I'm just going to talk about a little bit of the summary of the work of Dr. Catania. He has written textbooks and advanced the field of behavior analysis in different subcategories like verbal behavior and reinforcement. He has led research and experiments that have shaped the procedures and protocol of the work of that behavior analysts perform. The major themes that I recognized in his work that I discovered by researching all of his experiments and research. Two main ones that I found were reinforcement and behavior. He really tries to distinguish the different types of reinforcement and reinforcement schedules to see what works best and how to apply experiments with animals to human behavior. And he also talked a lot about verbal behavior, especially verbally governed behavior. So yeah, those were the two main points that I saw. Next, I came up with 5 questions that I would ask Dr. Catania if I had the opportunity to sit down with him for an interview. The first being if he thinks that he had a better advantage of advancing in his research and his work, considering he had a big background in the biological sciences and psychology. He mentioned in one of his articles that if psychology played a bigger role in the formulation of behavior analysis, what would that mean for the support that came from the psychology department and the context? The second question that I would ask him is, why do you think it might be harder for students to see data from non-human research as relevant to human behavior? And the third question I would ask, how much of an impact does he believe that he had on the field of behavior analysis? And does he think that other contributors helped him come to certain revelations or conclusions? The fourth question that I would ask him, what advice would he give to people like you and I, anyone new to the field? And lastly, I would ask, what are his thoughts on how the field of behavior analysis could progress even more? So Dr. Catania's work is very important to the field of behavior analysis because he not only did research and experimentation on different areas such as reinforcement schedules, choice, timing, verbal behavior, quantitative analysis, and evolutionary biology. He also wrote textbooks and taught many students that could eventually go on to further the work that he started. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my presentation on Dr. Charles Catania. I hope you enjoyed it. I've listed out the references that I've used on the books and the articles that I did my research on, and I also included the websites where I gained more biographical information on him. Thank you.